Murphy at Murtech.com with your daily news update. Okay, here we are on March 23rd in the year of our Lord 2026. And as usual, I got some great information for you tonight. So let's go ahead and jump over here to my channel, Murtech on Rumble. This is the live stream that we're reviewing tonight, episode 1865. Let's jump into this. Go ahead and pause that. This is the hi Debbie BS in the live chat. Anybody else want to chat with me? All right, let's slide down here and click the Show More button to expand out the description box. We have information from Dan Bongino, Benny Johnson, Rubin Report, and Wendy Bell Radio. So we've got a great lineup here. Before we get into that, I do have some shout outs to give from Gabby, just started following my channel. Wanderer Publishing just started following my channel. Playvac just started following my channel. Big Warrior 1977 just started following my channel. Hawk 1949 just started following my channel. CodarXHTZ just started following my channel. D Dotty 31161 just started following my channel. And 5488 Silky just started following my channel. Mike S0846 just started following my channel. And 12A69 Kiowa just started following my channel. So thank you very much, folks, for following my channel. I greatly appreciate that. I hope you're tuned in, and I hope you enjoy the content. Okay, Debbie BS reposted my episode 1864 from last night. Debbie BS also commented on my daily news wrap-up from last night. Uncloudy and Debbie BS commented on my episode 1864. Gelner Mary commented on my Dr. Steve Turley Extra 647C. Debbie BS commented on my Extra 648A, 648B, and 648C. So thank you very much, folks, for your comments and reposting my videos. I enjoy reading your feedback and certainly appreciate your support. So let me give that a thumbs up. Okay, and I have one of those thumbs up icons right here below the video you're watching. If you want to slide down and give that a poke or tap it with your mouse, that would be great. Okay, let's see what Dan Bongino has to say. Enemies to the Right, episode 2478. Let's check this out.
So I go out this weekend. There's a Republican club in the area. And because I'm an activist at heart and always have been, run for office, have raised money for candidates, showed up at fundraisers. And by the way, I prefer activism that's local. We have a lot of candidates on this show because it's an international show. So we'll have a lot of candidates running for office that are not local to me. I live in South Florida because it's a national audience. But my own personal Dan Bongino activist life is obviously focused on the localized community. I always like that Jordan Peterson line, make your own bed first, right? You can't clean up and fix your local community. You're not going to have much impact nationally. So I do a lot of fundraising activities and a lot of charity work for the local community down here. And one of the groups I speak at probably every other year is the Martin County Republican Club. Martin County's in South Florida. We just go and do it because it's the right thing to do. It helps them sell tickets. So we agreed to go out this weekend. And by the way, this is probably one of the most MAGA-oriented clubs anywhere in the country. I think outside the Martin County GOP is about as MAGA gets. Their office isn't very far from here, and there's Donald Trump stuff everywhere. They were one of the first people to come out for him. Matter of fact, South Florida is a hotbed of Donald Trump activism. They have a club down here, Club 47. It's the biggest MAGA club in the country. I speak there often as well. They get thousands of people. What's my point? The event I was at this weekend was a MAGA event, something we should celebrate, right? People showing up together to collectively discuss the issues du jour, what matters, how we're going to win the midterms, raising money because it's sadly but true, the mother's milk of politics. You've got to pay for TV ads like that. You would think this would be an event we would all collectively embrace on, correct? Not if you're the cancerous rod leftists again, leftists secreting yourselves inside our movement, trying to fracture it. So, in case you missed it, folks, this weekend, I've been telling you about the gatekeeper narrative, how there are a group of people infiltrating the right, pretending to be one of us, that want to destroy this movement. Why? We have to be very clear on this. Listen to me. Listen very good. They don't want the Donald Trump lineage to continue. They don't want Don Jr. to run. They don't want Eric to run. They don't want JD to run. They don't want Rubio to run. They don't want that lineage. They have their own idea of what this movement looks like. They openly talk about it, by the way. Because fiery speeches about what it would look like if Donald Trump was assassinated. This is not a secret. They talk about it all the time. They want the Trump vote, but they don't want the Trump with it. Do you get it? Trump vote, no Trump. That's what they want. So in order to get the Trump vote without Trump in it, they have to attack Donald Trump's record without attacking Donald Trump. So what do? They do this not so clever, stupid technique that there's a bunch of gatekeepers around Donald Trump. He's really a dumb, stupid guy, and a bunch of people are keeping information from him, and that's why this administration sucks, and that's why we're doomers so bad. But they don't attack him because they want the Trump vote without the Trump. So that's what they do. They try to attack him without attacking him. I brought this up multiple times because you got these guys who are really on our team, who are too dumb to see what's going on, who continue with this, hey, we can't do this infight. It's not infighting. These people are not in our club. They're trying to destroy our club. They show up at MAGA clubs and cause chaos. They had a group of them show up this weekend after this event, calling people, forgive me for the language, folks, in the show, but screaming and cussing, calling people, by the way, not just me and others, calling attendees as even faggots. And these are guys telling you they're part of your crew. This actually happened. So because they were too stupid to even be semi-cryptic about what their agenda was, we walked right by them to see what they got. But before we did, we got a little photo. A couple people took photos of these goons. I don't know. I only know one. Not that one, guys. Not that one. That's not the picture. That does look like them, but no, not that. That's not. Wait, Andy, say that's not the real one. That's not them either. No, that's Guy's personal favorite. So here were these three. Well, of course. Oh, look at this. No, you liked it. You wanted to throw that one in. If you're missing this on Apple and Spotify, here's the classic. By the way, we did not do these. These are just, of course, members of the Bongino Army. This is Guy's personal favorite. There they are in stormtrooper costumes. Two with their helmets on. Igor took his helmet off with his bald, goofy, mutt-looking face. That's Guy's video of the day, even though it's not a video. We'll call them photos of the day right there. So this was the actual real picture. By the way, that shirt is just a little too tight there, Igor. Well, what's going on there with that shirt? You trying to show nipple or something like that? What's going on with that, buddy? Oh, Nicole Wallace gives Igor a 10. Look at Igor. He looks confused at the Hutchinson River Shores Hotel where he was not invited at a MAGA event. He's got Ogre in the back. I don't know who that is, or I don't care to. Ogre was as dumb as a box of rocks, by the way. And then he's got this little person who's got some disability, so I feel bad for him, who was screaming and yelling. That little person, you see the guy in blue? He was calling people faggots. Yeah, at the MAGA event. This guy, you know this guy? Yeah, I don't know him, folks. I never met this guy in my life. He seemed awfully angry, though. It was strange. He seemed awfully angry. It's Igor's buddy. So they showed up screaming at a bunch of MAGA people. But remember, it's infighting. For all those people, no enemies to the right. They were not invited. Nobody asked them to come to the event. I'm not even sure they bought a ticket to the event. And they decided to be a good idea to start screaming and yelling like lunatics, never thinking, of course, we would come on the air on Monday and show the whole world who they were in various forms of dress all weekend. Here, Igor, bald-headed goofball. By the way, Igor, do your parents tell everyone they have no living children looking like you? Really? I mean, listen, man, I get it. I don't claim to have a face for podcasts. That's why I enjoyed radio. But my gosh, if you had that Uncle Fester look, I would go hide. Do your mommy and daddy look like that? How's daddy look? How's daddy look, Igor? So Igor got quite upset when we actually started reposting as they became a mockery all weekend on meme. Hey, Linsky's rules, fellas. Ridicule. It's really potent. You didn't like it, Igor. So Igor went on some crazy man's podcast, another loser, and they went on whining. Oh, he's a free citizen. He could do, yeah, I know. Here's Igor complaining on InfoWars about how he got nailed to the wall this weekend, looking like a tool with his nipple shirt. Check this out.
Private citizen, he's making memes, jokes. But what's the ultimate goal of doing this? Or the
to try to stop anybody else from doing it?
I mean,
Yes.
is he trying to intimidate me? I don't think that works. Okay. And number two, while it's funny, we can laugh and chuckle about it. It lowers the IQ level of the conversation that we're trying to have. The discussion is, do we want a country that's America first or America second? Or do we want a country that's America tied for first?
So there's Igor with his nipple shirt there in the screen there, whining and bitching and moaning like a little girl. Mommy and daddy put you up there? Daddy, look. You got a daddy. There's Igor then bitching and moaning. By the way, Igor's at the event. Igor was there. Igor didn't have the balls to say anything. Igor just sat there. Igor tried to shake my hand. Hey, buddy, hey. And Igor got humiliated. By the way, when Igor and his two goons screaming faggot at everybody, when Igor and his goons got tossed out of the event, I got a call later from some people who witnessed it, said they were like crying. Said they were like these three tough guys who show up while I'm with my wife at a MAGA event, by the way, calling people faggots. Their words, I'm sorry I even have to repeat this stuff, but you can listen to the stuff yourself. They were proud enough to be like, look at this, we got this all on video. Yeah, you did, you got it on video. It didn't work out like you planned though, did it? I heard they were like crying and whining. Sorry, man, we didn't really. Tough guys, ogre, 6'4", fat slob, little person, and Igor. Took three of you to go to an event to call a bunch of MAGA people faggots? Really? That's your let's get people elected, America first. And I love how Igor says, we just wanted to raise the discourse. You did by calling people faggots, right? Screaming at them in the lobby. I don't recall anyone asking us at the event to come in and ask a question or anything like that. Folks, I'm serious about this now. Obviously, these three goons now look like idiots. There's a cancer pretending to be part of our movement you cannot avoid. I'm really getting sick of a lot of these conservative, again, influencers who never did shit. These guys, they popped up on the scene, some of them, in the last 3-4 years, never done a damn thing. Put their name on a ballot, never agreed to serve. They're out there like, oh, we got to stop the podcast wars. This is an asymmetric unilateral war by a group of people who've secreted themselves into this content creation ecosystem and pretended to be part of our unit while they're trying to destroy it. And you want everyone to just sit back? Levin, Shapiro, and others who are trying to warn you who've been through this before? You want us just to sit back and let the whole entire thing explode? I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing it. I've already told you. I am really proud that we have the biggest show out there. I'm proud of it. The fact that we get millions of views on our channel a week. Yeah, like I wasn't even in last week. We got 4 million views. Folks, that's not a pat on the back. That's just a fact against all the other people who want you to believe you're alone. Oh, no one's listening to that. No one's listening to these idiots. They do these two things. You need to be hyper attentive to it. Whenever you hear the term from this network, Igor and his goofballs, the gatekeepers, and then they pretend they have hidden knowledge. They do these two things all the time. Trump is stupid. There's people keeping information from him, and Trump's not smart enough to know it because they want the Trump vote without the Trump. And then second, this is super important, they pretend they have some hidden knowledge, but they never, ever tell you what it is. You know, can I go a little out of order, Guy? You ever see the very popular podcast, Diary of a CEO? They invited us on. It was just on the topic. We couldn't, it was an immigration. We couldn't make it happen. So maybe in the future, whatever. It's a very popular podcast. You see the clips all over TikTok and elsewhere. This is how they do. So you understand the gatekeeper component. Part number 2 is they have a piece of hidden knowledge. Candace does this. Joe Kent's doing it now. Igor and his boys are doing it now. Trump is being gatekept from this hidden knowledge we have, but they never, ever tell you what it is, ever. They never tell you who they think killed someone in a murder case. They're telling you suspicious. They don't say anything. All they do is they give you 2 data points, totally unrelated, and they let you make the connection. Here is this guest on Diary of a CEO. I saw this making the rounds this weekend, explaining exactly how this class of enemies pretending to be part of us are trying to create chaos without ever giving you any useful information. Watch this and bookmark it. This is good stuff. Check this out.
I heard you say something as well that if you want to persuade other people, you should make them feel clever. Explain this to me.
I refer to this as maybe the most dangerous persuasion skill there is. And what the 10-second brief is, I'm going to put a Lego right here on the table in front of you. And I'm going to put another Lego right here on the table in front of you. And I'm just going to keep having the conversation to where eventually your brain is going to be like, oh, I bet those things go together. So the idea came from you. So I'm going to give you one piece of information and another piece of information, but I will never put them together for you. And the reason is that any idea that you think came from your own mind, you have no ability to resist it. So all I have to do is make you have an idea. So a regular example of this is, let's say you're watching the news and they say, local Austin woman has been reported missing. Neighbors said that earlier this day, people saw her arguing with her boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Details after the break. So,
yeah.
And your brain is like, oh, I know what happened.
That may be the most important clip I think we've ever played on the show with regards to the silo of psychological manipulation. Ladies and gentlemen, you're being subjected to a psychological operation, a psyop. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's them trying to create a conspiracy theory. It is absolutely true. They are using tried and true techniques of correlation without causation, knowing your brain will fill in the pattern to make you believe that they have a series and set of hidden knowledge you don't have about Charlie, Epstein, something else. This is what they do. They don't give a damn about Epstein. One of their boys is in the damn files. You don't see them pop it in there. They don't give a shit about the Epstein case. And if they gave a damn about Charlie and his family, they would stop trying to destroy a trial going on right now. I thought you believed in the Constitution, due process, a trial. They are using psychological weapons against you. Thankfully, I have an audience of people who are immune to this bullshit. They've seen it because who's tried to do it on them for the last 30, 40 years, depending on how old you are, my audience, the left. They're already immune to this bullshit. It's the newbies pretending to be part of our movement that are falling into this stuff. This doomer slop. Folks, your brain will create. Go watch that clip again if you're watching on demand. Put the Lego here, put the Lego here. Why does your brain do that? And say dogs won't do it as much. Dogs will do pattern recognition, but not like we do. It's a survival mechanism. You ever see the movie Castaway with Tom Hanks, where he gets stranded on an island, plane crashes? You've seen the movie, and at night he's sleeping and he hears this thump sound. And his first instinct, despite the fact that there's nothing particularly perilous about the sound, is he thinks someone out there's watching him and it's danger. He's taken this Lego and created a danger. And what was it? It's coconuts falling from the tree. It wasn't dangerous at all. But this has kept human beings alive, filling in blanks. What you're seeing in the environment, how your eyes and your ears and everything from your mouth and your tactile sense is stimulated, is not your perception of the world. The brain fills in blanks. That's what these people take advantage. Yes, optical illusions do this all the time.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause this here. And, he's right. I mean, the way the mainstream media reports things, and including Fox, I mean, they give you something and then you kind of use your imagination on some of it. But yeah, that's why I provide this information to you, because I believe that the information that I provide to you from these people, they're giving you the straight and narrow. All right, I've done a lot of research
Sir. Pretend.
on information to share with you. Sometimes something gets through, but I try to filter it so that you get the truth. No nonsense, common sense, logic, and truth. That's what we bank on here, rather than the lies and propaganda. Okay, this video does come from the Dan Bongino Show. This is the video I shared with you. I'm following his channel. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing with me. Let's jump back here. And I gave a little chat there to Debbie BS. Anybody else want to chat with me? Feel free to do so. Okay, Benny Johnson, Elon Musk shocks America, pays TSA salaries, Trump sends ICE to airports. That sounds like fun. Let's check it out.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. I'm traveling right now. I can tell you that the airport security lines are really, really bad out there because the Democrats have defunded DHS and they've defunded TSA. And so people that work at TSA can't pay their bills. They're not getting any money. And so they're quitting their jobs en masse. This is creating massive lines that even CNN can't ignore anymore. CNN forced to cover the hours-long line the Atlanta airport, one of the biggest airports in the world, Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, where a line goes effectively 4 miles all the way out to the parking facility at the airport. So this is wild. It remains to be seen whether Democrats will suffer anything for this. I guess we'll see, but eventually the pressure builds and breaks, and Elon Musk is here to save the day. Elon Musk offers to pay TSA workers salaries as wait time increased at the airport. Map shows airports with the longest line. Elon Musk went thermonuclear viral this morning, 44 million views, 52,000 reposts, and 324,000 likes, being just a straight patriot. Elon Musk, who I think is a trillionaire at this point, maybe might be the world's first trillionaire. Anyway, it says, I would like to offer to pay the salaries of TSA personnel during this funding impasse that is negatively affecting the lives of so many Americans at airports throughout the country. Such an unbelievable statement from the world's richest man, from an absolute American patriot, and also from somebody who doesn't have to ever wait in a TSA line. And this is the mark of somebody who's like actually a good person. It's not going to affect him at all. Elon Musk has a fleet of private jets, of course, some of the nicest jets in the world. He can fly where he wants. Is a man who will never have to see a TSA line ever again, and probably hasn't seen one in many, many years, if ever. And he's straight up saying, I'm going to save the country by doing this. He's getting massive plaudits from this, including from TSA agents. Notice the same outfit there. So I just landed. TSA agents at my home airport in Tampa. So I announced to all of the TSA agents as I was flying out that Elon Musk had done this because he had just done this. You know, he just posted this as I was at the airport, right? As I was going through TSA, just an hour or two before I went through TSA. And everybody cheered. And the TSA agents came to see me and said, I want to give a message. We're going through TSA right now. And I just told my man that Elon is covering the salaries.
Appreciate you.
For the TSA workers who've been defunded.
My man.
Yeah. And
thank you, brother.
They say thank you. There was a bunch of cheers. Like everyone cheered. I informed everyone behind us.
Take care.
Yeah. The man, a true patriot. I'm telling you, I just yelled it as we were going through. They had my camera, so I couldn't film it. But I yelled it as they were going through that Elon is covering the salaries of all of the TSA workers. And everyone cheered. And my man came up and he's like, I just want to shout out Elon. God bless this patriot. He did. God bless the actual patriot Elon Musk, who is, once again, reaching into his own pocket and doing the work that the federal government should be doing. Getting an incredible plaudits here from all across the internet. Thank you, Elon, for doing the work the Senate Democrats won't do. Amazing. Just a reminder that the Senate Democrats have, of course, defunded TSA. They've defunded also the Coast Guard. Not a particularly safe time out there right now. Not a particularly safe time to be an American. Just a matter of a few days ago, there was at least a report that there would be an potential Iranian missile attack off the coast of America. And the Coast Guard, of course, would be the people to guard the coast. And so, no telling, ladies and gentlemen, how Democrats are going to explain that. Elon, you are the most important American citizen of the 21st century, the most important who is doing everything possible to save our democracy. Thank you. Elon with the W. Thank you for helping those who are being forced to work without pay. Working without pay is slavery. Thank you for helping Americans and politicians who sit back in multi-million-dollar homes and watch like this is entertainment for them. I have said this so many times about you. You are one of the kindest and good-hearted people on the planet. I can tell you that as a matter of fact. I've met Elon Musk on just very rare occasions, but he's always been just so good-natured and so kind. And yeah, he held my newborn baby son and told me.
Okay, I got to jump in here. You know how he just mentioned that having people work without paying them is slavery? And who is doing this? It's the Democrats by holding up these bills. Okay, and not getting these bills pushed through to allow these people to get paid. And it's amazing that you won't hear any Republicans talk about that. Isn't having people work without paying them slavery? Why won't the Democrats vote to pass these bills? That's all they have to freaking say. So the Democrats are in favor of not paying people for working, which is a form of slavery. Don't you think? Explain it to me if I'm thinking incorrectly here, okay? I don't understand why no Republican that I know of, if you've heard of a Republican that's talked about this, let me know. But no Republican that I've heard of has pushed it in that direction. Let me know what you think.
To have millions more babies. So we're going to take that to heart. Anyway, I mean, like the reality here, based some responses, obviously, this is an incredibly generous, says John Fetterman. TSA agents across the country are relying on food pantry community donations just to get by. I remain the lone Democrat to vote with my Republican colleagues to fund DHS and get people paid. It should never come to this point. No one should be able to hold critical infrastructure of this country, security infrastructure of this country, hostage for political battles. You shouldn't be able to do that. I'm in full agreement of that. Like, this shouldn't be an issue. Now, funny how whenever Republicans try and run this, blows directly up in our face, right? Democrats are able to get away with it because people don't cover it. But this is exactly what they're doing. Also, like the vast majority of people, I don't have the exact number, but the vast majority of people in the country live paycheck to paycheck. I'm an employer. I'm well aware of that. People need their paychecks on time. I've never missed a paycheck, and I never will for that exact reason, because that's me, that's you. Everybody knows what it's like. Everyone knows what it's like to be dead broke, right? And you must have that paycheck, and it's cruel. It's a cruelty to do this. And also, a lot of these TSA agents, like, I'm not here to simp for TSA, I guess, but like a lot of these agents, you ever talk with them? They're veterans, they're cops. All the agents where I live in Tampa, like, and I know like so many of them, and I fly so much, like I know some of them by name. They're cops and they're former military members, and they're good people. They're in their retirement, or this is like their retirement gig, and they're just scratch it out. And this is something, to do this to them is a cruelty. Wow, this is leadership. It says compacted. If I told you a few TSA workers, I told a few TSA workers in Dulles this news, huge smiles for real, no way. Well, you got to film it. Okay. You got to film it, lady. You got to film it, Laura Ingraham. Private citizen doing more than our entire Senate right now. Amazing work, Elon. I commend you. Shunned by Democrats, demonized by liberals, and blocked by the GOP. He didn't care. He's always tried to save America. God bless Elon Musk. Elon is a true patriot. Let's hope and pray our laws will allow it. Democrats finding out that Elon Musk offered to pay the workers' salaries. screaming, and rage. Yes, that's right. Chuck Schumer is so rattled by Elon's offer to pay TSA salaries that he accidentally called for more ICE funding on the Senate floor. We must fund ICE. We must fund TSA now. Good job. Let's listen.
But that's an ongoing process. They're meeting today again. But we must fund TSA now.
He is rattled. Speaking of ICE, Trump plans to send ICE agents to the airport to handle security on Monday amid the government shutdown. President Trump saying here, radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular airports, be free and safe again. I will move our brilliant, patriotic ICE agents to the airport. They will do security like nobody has ever seen before, including immediate arrests of illegal immigrants who have come to our country. Heavy emphasis on those from Somalia who have totally destroyed, with the approval of corrupt governor, attorney general, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of the great state of Minnesota. I look forward to seeing ICE agents at airports. ICE agents. There's a lot of illegals flying through our airports, right? Massive, ladies and gentlemen. Exciting times. Reopen the airports, fund our government, and pass the SAVE Act.
Why don't you turn around and ask him, Scott?
I can tell you right now. Well, so my friends, among every other issue out there, do you believe that election security is the most important issue? Yeah!
Pretty easy, guys. Pretty simple.
You guys hear that Elon
said
he would pay, since the Democrats shut down the Department of Homeland Security, pay for the salaries of TSA agents until the government does the right thing.
Elon, certified patriot. It's reporting, like, share, and subscribe. See ya.
Alrighty, folks, there you have it. Good information. Let me go ahead and click on this Rumble link and show you that this video does come from Benny Johnson. I am following his channel. I've given it a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. Alrighty, let's jump back here and see what's coming on with the Rubin report. Dan Bongino makes the host go silent by listing Iran's plans for the U.S. before the war. Okay, well, let's check this out. I like Dave Rubin.
That this was an actual threat that was imminent, and they still want a nuclear weapon while chanting death to America so much it's just become, you say it on TV, it almost sounds like you're telling a story.
Also, you may remember we showed you the video about 2 weeks ago. I think we showed it to you a couple of times. Steve Witkoff, who was our lead negotiator, talking about the Iranian enrichment that the Iranians were doing, and that they said that they were close to being able to build 11 nuclear bombs. Those are their words. So at some point, you have to just sort of, people are giving us all sorts of information. You have to choose who to believe. To me, it's a little tough to believe a guy who was working in counterintelligence suddenly comes out against the war. We've shown you many tweets and previous comments of Kent where he's completely foregoing after Iran over the years. And then the next day goes on Tucker Carlson, who has been the most radically anti-Trump person on the right, if Tucker's even on the right anymore. So something seems a little bit thin there to me. But as it pertains to nukes and ballistic missiles and all of the bad things, the exporting of terrorism quite literally all over the world that Iran's been doing for years, here's Bongino talking, Dan Bongino, on Fox talking about the Iranian threat.
Well, a senior U.S. official told Fox on background that Joe Kent was cut out of presidential intel briefings months ago due to allegations that he was suspected of leaking and that he hasn't been part of any Iran discussions or briefings. But, I mean, he's beloved. I don't know him well. I think he's been on the show a few times, but he's beloved. He served his country, proudly. He said he's very proud of serving in this administration, but he disagrees deeply. And I think respectfully on this one issue. But he also said back in 2024, Dan, that Iran is poised to attack. Biden and the D.C. war machine has given them plenty of options to harm us by leaving our troops deployed in small bases in Iraq, Syria, and Jordan. Back in 2020, he said Trump's restraint shows that he wants to deal with Iran, and his red line is American loss of life and Iranian nuke development. And by all accounts, their nuke development had not been abating. In fact, it was speeding up.
I mean, Laura, again, like what more, if you were making a court case here for a threat that was imminent, right? You know, we had Erbil, Beirut, the Khobar Towers, EFPs, explosively formed penetrators in the Iraqi battlefield. We've had drone attacks. We've had threats of drone attacks. We've had, decades of hostage taking in the Strait. We've had decades of actual hostage taking in our own embassy. Cafe Milano. You've had lethal plotting. Asif Merchant, the federal case, and the Pakistani at the IRGC's beholding in the assassination case. What more evidence could you possibly need that this was an actual threat that was imminent? And they still want a nuclear weapon while chanting death to America so much. It's just become, you say it on TV, it almost sounds like you're telling a story.
No, well, Trump's doing what others didn't want to do. And it's a risk to him politically, and he did it anyway.
Okay, so look, Dan Bongino happens to be one of those guys that I trust. But I also want to show you a video we showed you last week where Marco Rubio lays out why we did the Iran situation right now. Because Kent is basically saying Iran was no threat, even though he has been on the record with all sorts of tweets and comments over the years encouraging Trump to go after Iran. But suddenly he's completely 180'd on that.
Yep, there you have it. All right, good information. Let me click on the Rumble link here and show you that this video does come from the Rubin report. Sharing Dan Bongino stuff here again. I share Dan Bongino's channel and I share Dave Rubin's channel, the Rubin report on Murtech.com. Right here it is. There's Dan Bongino. It's alphabetical order, so Dave Rubin's down here. Oop. There we go, the Rubin report. I share both of their channels, and I love it when one channel highlights information from another channel that I share. It kind of gives confirmation of the information that I'm providing here for you folks. But let's jump back here and... No, actually, let's jump over here and show you that this video does come from the Rubin report. I'm following the channel. I've given them a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. And I want to share some information about Rumble Wallet from Rumble, and see what you think about that.
They can cancel your accounts, freeze your cards, decide what you're allowed to buy, say, or support. Big banks and financial institutions have total control, and they use it. That's why financial independence matters more now than ever.
Introducing Rumble Wallet, a wallet built for real freedom. With Rumble Wallet, you control your money, not a bank, not a government, not a tech company. Buy digital assets like Tether, Tether Gold, and Bitcoin in one secure place. No permission, no middleman, no cancel button, and when you want to support the creators you actually believe in, you can use the Rumble Wallet app to directly tip content creators securely, instantly, and without interference.
Designed for patriots who stand tall, this cap captures the enduring spirit of liberty. The Liberty Bell stands proud this isn't a credit line they can shut off. It's your wallet permanently. Yours to protect your future. Yours to protect your family. When the system fails, when institutions turn on their own people, financial sovereignty is the difference between security and vulnerability.
Rumble Wallet isn't about politics. It's about freedom, ownership, and protecting what's yours. So take control today. Download Rumble Wallet now and step away from the big banks for good. True ownership, true protection, true financial freedom.
All right, there you have it, folks. Now let's slide down here. Foxy Grandma joined us in the chat, and Tama, I think that's what that says there. Joined us in the chat, so thank you very much for your chats. All right, let's slide down here and see what Wendy Bell has to say on Good Riddance. All right, let's check this out.
To play in the soccer tournament. I think we had traveled the furthest away. We saw some people from Virginia, Maryland, DC, et cetera, et cetera. But this was really it for our kids. And Joe gets home from work, and we're in the car with the kids in the back. And these are big boys. We're driving on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, ridiculously overpriced road, but we'll talk about that some other time. And we're driving along, and I look back in the rearview mirror, and it was almost like it was yesterday that I remember driving in that same sort of situation, except Bobby and Chris were in their little car seats, right? Toddler seats. And they were both zonked out with their mouths open. You know that look that you make on a plane or in a car when you're asleep. That's what they do. And I looked back in the rearview mirror at my sons, and I looked over my shoulder at them, just big boys. And I was like, wow, this is it. The last one. And I know Joe's listening to music, and we're listening to whatever we're listening to. Maybe it was basketball, whatever it was. And I'm in another universe. It's the last one. We get to the hotel the next day. We have 2 games, one at 10 in the morning, one at 8 at night, which is unfortunate. But the team has 2 captains, and it just so happens that both are my kids. It's interesting, too. Bobby's a captain because he's an offensive pain in the neck. He's a threat, a striker, a goal scorer, and a playmaker, along with other boys on the team. But Chris, he's the defender. He's the wall. He's the center back. He pays attention to everything that's going on. And I was looking at my boys. Chris has got to be pushing 6'5". Bobby's 6'3". It's not a tall boy sport, to be honest with you. And these boys just kind of stand out like sore thumbs on the field. And I just sat there in just amazement watching these kids. Like, this is it. There's not going to be any more road trips, There's not going to be any more reason to take these sojourns on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And I was in another dimension. It was beautiful weather. And I watched my son Chris in the backfield as he stood up on a kid who gave an elbow to one of Chris's teammates. My son stood up and pushed the kid, pushed him down. Ref came over. He was ready to give him a card, and there was a conversation. And I watched my son towering over these other people. He explains very rationally, point, put your elbow in my defender's nose again, and I will kick the jeepers out of you, period. It's not a threat. It's a promise. And the ref tries to settle it down. Chris isn't a hothead. And he nods his head and understands what the ref is saying. They proceed to play their game. No more problems. When things started to get a little dicey, Chris stepped forward. I was looking at him. I'm like, I've got one captain who's in the front of the team, trying to score goals, trying to make moves, trying to create plays, trying to kick the ball to open space. And I have a brick wall on the backside here, holding down the fort, making sure nobody encroaches on his defense, making sure nobody scores. And I was in a whole different world, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you need somebody to stand up who's bigger than everybody else, who doesn't need to show you what he could do, but whose threat of that happening is enough for you to say, yeah, you know what, maybe I'm not going to chance it. I'm not going to really push that envelope. Because if I do, my face is going to be on the losing side of that. I don't think so. We've got that in this president right now as I'm watching. What did he say on Friday? He's like, look, Iran, I'm going to absolutely obliterate your power grid. You have 48 hours to get your crap together and figure out what you're doing with the Strait of Hormuz. Because if you're going to continue to terrorize the shipment of oil and the tankers through that 20-mile wide strip, we're going to have issues, and we're going to blast you into the middle of next week. You're not going to be able to rebuild. You lose the $10 billion that you spent building it. You're not going to be able to survive. It will be the finishing blow, like Chris to the other guy. I wouldn't do that. I don't advise that. It's likely not going to end well on your behalf. And much like that player on the opposing team, Iran listened to this president and they apparently called him. Now, it's kind of hard to call from Iran, isn't it? Because they've blown out all of their infrastructure. There's no like Verizon, reach out, touch somebody. It's very complicated. And now President Trump has hit pause for 5 days on any offensive strikes on that power grid, giving the time for Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and others to negotiate in person with Iran, whomever the structure of leadership is there. And the president hinted at this today. They do have a structure in Iran, and we're working with them on that structure. We want them to survive. But when you have been captured by darkness, by an evil, tyrannical slice of your population, right? It doesn't end well. We're seeing this here, ladies and gentlemen. President Trump has been a threat to the deep state since the very beginning. But what he has been doing amid all of their warfare, all of their lawfare, all of their attempts to destroy him, and they made it personal because they went after his family. President Trump told everybody, not now, not while I'm here. This ends now. This is where we are as the president postpones strikes on this nuclear or on this power plant, I should say, Iranian power plant for 5 days amid peace talks. Think about what the left is doing. You've got Trump sending in what? ICE agents into airports to assist with Transportation Security Administration. They need the help. He says, take off the masks. I'm seeing some video of ICE guys in the airport wearing masks. Take off the masks. This isn't what it's about. It's about expediting travel. It's about easing the backlog. It's about the Strait of Hormuz, getting oil through. It's about what? Unsanctioning 140 million barrels of Iranian oil that sits on tankers in the ocean. And President Trump says, sell it. Get it on the market. If the money goes back to Iran, to whomever the power structure is there, that's small potatoes compared to what it is to the rest of the world. President Trump isn't just looking at this in terms of his survival, in terms of his family, in terms of just America. It's about everybody. It's about being on the backside, being the defender, being the brick wall on your team. And realizing that if everything in front of you goes haywire, if everything else goes wrong, if you are the last man standing, it will be over your dead body that your team will lose. That is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. So, from one proud mom who will never be at another soccer tournament again, which absolutely breaks my heart. Go team. Go America. This war is about to be over, ladies and gentlemen. Then what are they going to bitch about? When we come back on the Wendy Bell radio program, the president sending ICE to the airports today. We'll talk about how that's going next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
All right, let's move this forward here to about the 23
title.
minute mark.
There is a much broader wilderness a little bit. Care. They're not there in presents so many. Really, that is the.
There we go.
No more waiting and no more games. Welcome back to the Wendy Bell radio program. Literally, that is the White House Twitter feed title as they stamp on this President Trump truth. The radical left Democrats have hurt so many people with their vicious and uncaring ways. You know, what if John Fetterman represents what used to be the Democratic Party? What if there is a much broader contingency of John Fetterman style Democrats? They might be liberal. They might have some ideas on some social stuff that you and I don't agree with, but they're not complete crazy people, right? We can admit that they've taken a left turn, have wandered off into the wilderness a little bit, but they're not lunatics. because the progressive wing of this party, that President Trump is correct about calling uncaring. They don't care who gets caught in the crossfire. Whether it's thousands of people killed on 9/11 or it's hundreds of people killed on Lahaina trying to get away from an inferno, whether it's hundreds of people washed away in North Carolina or Tennessee from flooding, whether it's hurricanes, bridges, it's like there's this weird not caring thing going on the left, this callous disregard for just basic decency. Like, I don't hate anybody to the degree that I would take joy in their suffering, that I would wish something terrible to befall them or someone they love. When you cross into that world, I believe you've taken one step too far. And I don't know how you come back. I don't know how you come back. Trump wrote, the radical left Democrats have hurt so many people with their vicious and uncaring ways. What they have done to the Department of Homeland Security, our fantastic TSA officers, and most importantly, the great people of our country is an absolute disgrace. He's right. It is a disgrace. How do you stand up and claim that you're for anything logical and rational and American when you know your actions are screwing over 250,000 American families? The lion's share of which live paycheck to paycheck. And this is the third time in one administration that your way of negotiating with the party in power is to hold other people and their livelihoods hostage. What is wrong with you? This is that chasm. This is that weird fissure where you begin to see the deep state from the Democrats. John Fetterman is not deep state. He's old school, smattered with a little bit of pro-weed and I don't really care much about abortion, like you should do what you want to do as a woman. But by and large, this guy is not radical. His party has been hijacked. President Trump is right to call it out. He says if the Democrats do not allow for just and proper security at our airports and elsewhere throughout our country, ICE will do the job far better than ever done before. The fascist Democrats will never protect America, but the Republicans will. Do you think that the Democrats see this and understand this? Because in every TSA line, trying to get through airport security, whether you're going to a wedding, you're going on spring break, you're taking your family on a vacation, you and your wife are retiring, somebody has died and you're going to the funeral, every single person standing in that line knows damn well who's in charge of it, knows damn well who caused it. That there's not a tip jar for the TSA agents is ridiculous, and that there's not a voter registration drive for the Republican Party is also ludicrous. Because you would clean up. And what do the Democrats say about having ICE agents? Debbie Dingell, right? People are going to be intimidated by the ICE agents. They're not going to be willing to fly. Well, that's good. That's less room for all of us, less space that they're taking. And by the way, if you're afraid of immigration officers, it's probably because you're here illegally, Debbie. You numbskull. But of course, they know this. They know we know. They know on top of it. Now you've got Elon Musk, and he's like, you know what? Here's the deal. I'm the world's richest man. I believe in airport security. I believe in the Coast Guard. I believe in funding the Secret Service, which is just moderately important right now as we're involved in a war with the state-sponsored terror in Iran. Maybe we should fund these people. Maybe I can pay for it. Elon Musk says, let's go. Elon Musk saying this weekend he would be willing to pay the salaries of TSA agents during the Homeland Security shutdown. As President Trump suggested the possibility, and they are there, ICE at the airports, a shutdown causing chaos for travelers. When is it not chaos for you? When does it not cost you? Whether it's taxes, whether it's your mental state of being, whether it's your time. And these clowns in Congress, you know what they do when they've got to catch a flight somewhere? They bounce to the front of the line and get a personal escort through by TSA. I say they should suck it and get stuck in the back of the line. No extra treatment. You caused it. You suffered it. Stand here with us and let us despise you as we wait endlessly. This is where we are, and the president is right in calling it out. Cruel Democrat Party. Now, there are two things going on. Obviously, you've got the war with Iran. You've got this DHS thing. Actually, more than that, you've also got the Save America Act. How the Democrats want to weave everything together to sink it all and put the blame on Trump. Next on the Wendy Bell Radio Network.
All righty. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up.
Air Canada.
Let me click on the Rumble link here and show you that this video does come from Wendy Bell Radio. I am following the channel. I've given her a thumbs up, and I will include this video as well as the Dan Bongino video in my daily news wrap-up, so you'll get to catch the rest of that. But I do want to remind you folks here, come back, let me share this page, that these videos that I share with you are videos that come directly from the producer's channel. Okay, I've got the links to the videos themselves as well as the links to the channels, so you can check out any more information, any additional information that you might want to there. And these videos that I've shared with you are videos that I've posted here on Mertech.com. All right, right here's the one from Dan Bongino. Here's the video from Rubin Report. Right there's the video from Wendy Bell Radio, and up here, this is all in alphabetical order, Benny Johnson, the video I shared with you from him. I'd like to be able to share all of it with you, but unfortunately, I just don't have the time to do so, and that's why I've put together my daily news wrap-up. And I've got to rearrange this a little bit, get it in order, but I've got the information here from, it says I have 16 videos and about 10 hours worth of information on the fridge, McWater's Effect, official Jovan Hutton Pulitzer, Black Conservative, Benny Johnson, there's the Dan Bongino video. So it's all going to be here for you. So give me about 15 or 20 minutes to get this all lined up for you. Let me come over here and make sure I've got this video here right there. Mertech Daily News Wrap-Up. I just added it. All right. So as I said, give me about 15 minutes to rearrange my list here, get it in a good order for you, and get everything set up in Rumble Studio. But in the meantime, I do want to thank you for being here with me. Hopefully, I'll get to see you again later, and may God bless.